Mintgate. Today we are going to go through the steps required to setting up your white label on Mintgate. And if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to post them in the chat and I will make sure that I have that open. But I'm going to take this from ground zero, assuming that everyone here would benefit from all the knowledge and even the trivial sometimes steps in setting up a white label the correct way. So some of the prerequisite work here today, I've already opened up and purchased a domain. This domain is mattyhofstad.com, and I've got these the domain DNS already set up through GoDaddy that I'm going to get to in a second. But first and foremost, we need to be able to connect our wallet. The easiest thing to utilize is MetaMask. And I see, if you have a question, if you don't mind putting it in the chat, I'm going to actually mute everyone. Just if we can. Okay. Interesting. So MetaMask is absolutely the best and easiest way if you don't have a crypto wallet today to get signed up and utilize this world. It's the key to accessing everything that you need to be able to do across anything that is NFTs. And I've already set up my MetaMask wallet, and I set up a new wallet, and you see that it'll actually prompt up here in the top right for me to sign that, and that will then log me in to be able to create my very first white label storefront setup. So right when you drop into Mintgate, the first thing you want to do is go to settings. And inside of this, it gives you 4 key areas to navigate: your general settings, your theme editor, which is setting up the visual representation of your storefront. There's a lot of cool features inside this that I will get to. Domain and smart contract configuration is the third element. And then the fourth element here is API keys and integration components that I won't spend too much time talking about today. But the very first step here is making sure that we've got our MetaMask set up, we've logged in, we're ready to go, and I've funded my new wallet with a little bit of Ethereum just to be able to execute the next steps of this if you want to go and mint your NFTs, which I will get to. So first and foremost, your email. I'm going to set up the one today, Playbook Startup Alpha. I'll save my settings and update, and then I'm going to jump into the fun part. So this is not what I want to be called. This is a long digit that no one will ever be able to remember. So the very first thing when it comes to setting up your storefront, anyone can produce an NFT with the MetaMask on OpenSea, on Rarible. But the notion here is that when it comes to creating non-fungible tokens, whether it be digital artwork or it's a utility token that's creating, or adding some purpose to what's being done, what this is providing you is an ability for you to be able to actually set up your own brand and provide this purpose that's wrapped around your brand. So you can then create and expand upon this directly with your own site that has NFTs. And that's the way to think about it. And when it comes to representation of who you are, there's some prerequisite information and details and steps you want to be able to take to make sure that you're represented as you would want to be. So if you're setting up a Facebook account, if you're setting up an Instagram account, you're not going to go faceless, right? We want to be able to add purpose to this product. So I've already set up a couple of things to show. And the first thing I'll access here is just my Matty Hofstad artwork. And I've got my profile picture, and I've already added these to the folder, and this is a 400 by 400 file. You can utilize GIF files as well, but just for purposes today, I'll add my profile pic, I'll save the design, and then I'll go down to add my hero image. Now this can also be a GIF. If you want to convert that over, you can, but this file size here, the best to utilize for depending on the storefront that you select, the white label that you select, there's a lot of different design themes. I think 12 plus is the number, but I'm going to just put this one in here for now so we have something set up. And as you can see there, I've added this now and it's saved. So I'm in the default sort of standard profile setting for Mintgate. And I'll have the ability to then go back through and change my layouts here, but I'm adding these sort of baseline steps first. And then the next step to add is your title, username, and storefront. Now, what you see here along the top, like this is my current username. So I'm just going to change this to Maddie Hofstad. And what you'll notice is after I change that, unless the format, you'll notice I got an error message. If I save this, it's because I'm putting a space between the name. So what I want to be able to do is just close that gap, click save, and now you see my settings have been updated, and this is the name of my storefront. If you want to apply some other brand to that, these are the first stages to be able to do this. So this is for a creator to say, hey, I want to be able to produce NFTs, and then through here, I can syndicate these NFTs onto Rarible, where maybe you already have an account, but this is about driving traffic or your audience, whatever you want to be able to make your own, bringing them to your own site allows you to give a lot more control around who you're collaborating with, who you would like to be able to work with in the future, and also being able to work with others in your local community that's taking it off the larger marketplace, like OpenSea or Rarible, and bringing it into a more intimate setting here that really represents you well. And for the storefront heading, I'm going to call this new collection, which is a journey of a digital creator in Adobe to creating physical artwork. I'm going to call this new collection from Adobe to a dumpster, because I am an amateur artist and I have no idea what I'm doing with a paintbrush when it comes to painting the physical art. What I'm going to do is I'm going to depict my artistic journey here over the course of the next 12 months, every month producing a new pick of physical artwork that I've created to demonstrate that journey. And that's exactly what I'm going to put in the description to tell everyone what this is about. So this is a journey of a digital designer who is a master class in Adobe attempting to become a physical over the course of 1 year. Now I've got something that is articulating the purpose of my white label storefront, what you can expect in the future. And now I've got something there that can depict that in a way that I think represents me. And now we can move on, if no one has any questions around this section here, to the fun part. And the first thing I want to kind of call out here is these layouts. The Mintgate team has done a fantastic job at giving a lot of optionality around all the different ways you can display your creator storefront and make this your own. And what you're going to see is, depending on which of these options I select, I might find that the storefront hero image just doesn't look really great once I get to that option that I think best suits what I'm looking for. For example, if I click Flume, it'll automatically show me what the site will actually look like once I take it live on my URL. And this just doesn't look great. And I can say right off the bat, if this was something that I was really partial to using this particular theme, I could go back up and just change this file and see how the other option looks and add that to it. And that looks a little bit better. Now that I've updated the settings, I'll go down and say, but perhaps I'll go through and I like this profile setting better, where it creates more of that hero image as a backdrop. So you see here that there are a lot of options, but what makes it really convenient is that I don't have to keep refreshing a site URL, for example. I can see how my white label domain will look, building it inside of the Mintgate platform. And that makes it really convenient to test out a lot of the different features and options that are here, layouts, to find one that really works for me. And depending on what your journey is, they got something that fits everything. So you can go from, it might be storytelling, it might be digital design, it might be commerce, whatever the case may be. I think they've done a good job setting all of this up. And I'm going to go with gaming just for now, and I'll save this one in here. So now that I've selected my template, the next is to select the default NFT style for your card. Now, because I haven't produced any content NFTs yet, I can't actually render which one's going to look like. So I'm going to come back to that, but just know that there are a lot of different layouts for your actual NFT styles themselves and how you display them that we'll look at here in a second. And then if I decided that the color scheme that I want to be able to utilize with my theme still isn't working, to my liking. I can change the default preset color themes, and they give you a lot of configuration here that allows you to really make this your own. For example, let's check the font. I know I like this font, and I can choose to then say, I want to make that a little lighter, or I want to make that more bold. As you change the fonts, it's really amazing to be able to see that the actual content I have, I can look how that will display. And perhaps then I might change up, the naming convention of this. Either way, these configurations will make you, you can see how easy it is to be very, very comfortable with finding something that really works for you. So we're going to just keep this now because we can come back to this. And I'm going to just go back to my settings now. You can actually save the design. I can close the panel. I can look at the wide screen here. I can jump back to settings. And I'm going to go to my domain and contract. So seeing is believing. So what I'm going to do here is I've got my Matty Hofstad domain already purchased, as I said, on GoDaddy. It makes it very, very simple to do so. And I've currently got this domain parked. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the parked domain. Don't need to have that in there. This step here, just if someone asks questions, and I'm going to go to the actual chat, like this is a part that tends to confuse people. Just want to make sure if you have any questions here to please ask them. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my URL, which is www.mattyhofstad.com. And my page name, I've already labeled that out, but I'm going to put that here. And this section, setting up the domain, in the DNS settings, a CNAME record with the value of cname.vercel-dns.com. This is a very important detail. So what I've done is I'm going to copy that detail, and this is going to allow me to display my white label storefront on my domain. And I'm going to do so by coming into the CNAME record here, the very first one that says www. And I'm going to edit and change this record. Now that I've changed that record, within the next 30 seconds, typically it's very, very fast, I can save these settings inside of Mintgate, and it will let me know if the domain DNS is updated effectively or the correct way. So while I give that a minute, I'll just explain here. I've got my email address, and this is how you set up your royalties for your actual white label storefront. And this is going to be a session we're going to do in itself on just the ability to understand how royalties work and how transactions on NFTs, call it from token to take home. So what the actual end result will be for creators, perhaps on your white label, or for you in general when it comes to producing your own NFTs. But right now I'm going to leave this currently set to 1, and I'm going to make it private so only I can create NFTs. And what's really great about this particular feature when setting up your white label storefront is you can choose to allow others to come and produce off-chain NFTs on your site. And when I say off-chain, what I mean by that is that you can produce NFTs where the transaction cost to mint the actual NFT, can be pushed to the actual buyer of that NFT at the time of purchase. You can also choose to go on, and there's other ways you can do this I won't jump into, but it's a very cost-effective way for you to be able to present some of your assets right off the bat on your white label storefront without having to spend the cost to actually going and minting those assets. And then I can also choose to allow others that I collaborate with by just following these other users in the search at the top. I can put another username, and if I follow that user, they can also produce NFTs on my white label storefront, which is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just say for right now, I want to keep it private that only I can create. And I'm going to go to save my settings. Now that my settings have been updated, you'll see here now that the configuration success status, success. Yes. Domain is configured. And now if I click this link, it should drop over to mattyhofstad.com. And what you see here is my white label storefront, although it needs some finesse from a design standpoint and probably some font selection, color scheme standpoint, I am live. And that is really, really amazing and super easy to just say, holy cow, I've gone from wondering how I was going to create, have my own site for NFTs and empower my site to have utility token projects with purpose. And now I've got my own website live. Thank you very much, Mintgate, for making that super easy. And the last feature here I will point out is that if you would like to be able to create your own custom contract, which is a smart contract where you have your own collection also represented with your username on Rarible, you can deploy that smart contract right through the system here. And depending on the transaction cost currently, that can vary in degrees, and I can just pull up real quick and show you right now what that might cost. To do this right now, we're probably looking at 150 USD on average to produce that. But for demo purposes, if I have enough in the demo wallet, I can just try it right now. We can probably make this another collection point, a demo at a different time, but let's just put this in for now. And I'll say Adobe to a dumpster. And then I'll highlight this. This will be my collection. And I would then deploy that contract to show you an example of what that looks like. And then this would be the cost right now. Don't have enough in my wallet, but if I wanted to be able to create that collection, which allows me to have this smart contract to govern my royalties beyond the Mintgate site, I could then go and produce that right here, which is really cool to be able to do that through the Mintgate platform. And the last steps here, which we won't get into today, is just the ability to utilize your API token and be able to connect data between Mintgate and other platforms, which is a more advanced lesson. Any questions so far from the group? Because I could go back here and
I have a question. Can I ask it?
Yes, please.
So what if as a business we have the ability, I heard, I was like paying attention to this part, and I think you covered it, or if we are able to mint outside of this, how can we like mint outside and bring into the solution?
So the question is, if you've already produced assets on another contract.
Yeah, like if we want to, because our business, we're very interested in minting the cards, distributing them for free, and then focusing on the secondary market. And so that's the question. Yes.
Well, so you don't mint for free. So that's the first thing you want to.
Well, you got to mint. You pay the cost-o-matic. I mean, we're minting and we pay that cost when we're minting. We've developed a solution to mint already. We're doing it, but we like your UI, your UX, and I want to figure out how we can use your solution.
I can speak a bit to that. Was it Andreas?
Yes, that's correct.
You know, that's a really good question, and we've thought when we've built out Mintgate, we're trying to build out Mintgate in the most sustainable way that we can that we've been able to articulate, to build a platform that allows users to create their tokens and list it for display in their own domain, similar to the Shopify experience. With your use case, you already have a system in which you're producing tokens, and you're looking for a storefront that then lists these existing tokens that you have. I think to best support you, that would be some kind of I guess, I'd like to have a further conversation with you on how we could have that type of arrangement, because it comes down to ultimately value and ensuring that what we can provide you serves your use case well.
I like that very much. I just want to. I'd like we can have that conversation. I'd like to continue watching, and we can have that. I can message on Discord. I just wanted to add that what I think is the most impressive thing is your walled access to content using an NFT for authentication from a user standpoint. So that's to me what's the most, when I say user experience, user access, I think, or user experience, UI, I just think that's a really great thing you built.
Thank you, Andreas. It's been our core focus. One of the ways that we really see ourselves as being a bridge between tokens and the rest of the internet, that you can take anything that's digital and provide it as exclusive value onto your NFT and have that experience be very simple and ultimately help drive your economy.
I'm on board. I'll message you after, but I'll follow this now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Andreas.
So to take the final step here, I'm going to create a gated content NFT. And I did that by just going here to create, and I'll click yes. And there's a lot of new features that we've added here over the last couple of weeks. For example, like the ability to set custom properties, for your assets. One of the things I've learned is, minimizing the amount of content that you add in initially. So if anyone has gone through this journey before where they've produced an NFT and they've minted it and there was a spelling error perhaps in the content, and it absolutely irks you because after it's been minted, it is sort of there forever. And so what Mintgate platform allows you to be able to do is you can go back in after the fact and you can add additional content to these assets and add additional gated links. So you can actually take what is a proof of concept perhaps today with an NFT and say, I have some ideas of how to expand upon the value of this that I haven't thought of yet. This is a platform that will allow you to go and attach that unrevealed value to these assets at a later point in time, which is really great. So I'm going to go here and just do a gated video right off the bat. And I've produced already an asset here. I'll call it the Space Cadet MP4, and I'll upload this video. And I'll say, if you purchase this NFT, the Matty Hoffman Space Cadet, which is a design that I created a year ago, waiting on Rarible verification. I was hoping there was some secret backdoor or relationship that could expedite that process. But by purchasing this physical piece of art, you'll get this video, and you'll also get a 30 by 20 of the actual painted works too on a canvas. And so I'm going to just call this we'll call this the Space Cadet, and I'm going to put in here this content is what's going to be associated to your NFT. So now that I've uploaded the actual video, if you want to be able to test it and play it right here, you can. And that'll play it for you. So this would be the video that you would unlock, have access to with the purchase of the actual NFT. And any content that I want to be displayed on the NFT would go here. And so I'm going to just put in here for today, I will say that this is to keep it simple. And then I'll add the cover. Now the cover is an important detail because this is what everyone's going to see on your white label storefront as the represented asset of what they're getting. And I'm going to use a GIF file for this because I like to be able to have some movement in what I create. It stands out. And so I've uploaded that. And as you can see here, this is what that will display. So we've got our technology is really, really great at compressing these files. I definitely want to be able to make sure that when I'm creating any type of a motion file like this particular GIF, I try to keep it at 10 megabytes or under. And if that's an MP4 file, what that means is I'm converting it from that format, and I want to be able to keep that MP4 duration of that video probably under 10 seconds to be able to do so. And now you've got my Space Cadet NFT, and I'll create this as a 10 edition NFT, and then I'll set the initial price of this NFT as 0.01, and then I can choose the royalties that I'll have for this. So this is, again, the primary sale is the very first sale of an NFT from the creator to the purchaser, and then every other sale of that NFT after that is known as a secondary sale. And this will be the percentage that will come to the creator as those transactions transpire. For today, I'm going to leave the property name values blank. And now I've gone ahead and I will click to sign. And here we go. My Space Cadet NFT has been created. It's at a listing of 0.01 ETH. And I can see now that very quickly that design will pop up and it will render here for the viewer. Now, if I go to my page and I click to refresh my Whitelabel page, as soon as that content renders, it will display here. There we go. Love it. And now there's a couple of new features here that I want to point out. You'll see there's an Adgated Content. I can add a description and I can even add goals. And a goal is something to, so let's take a look at what that is. So if I wanted to add content, and I wanted to say, you know, with this, I want to do a PDF. And let's just say, you know, that particular PDF is going to be access to how I can send them the physical art, for example. And I'll just use, you know, one example PDF in there. I can upload this and add that link to it. And I can just say, this is the for and I would add that content. And now that I've added that content, click OK. It will load, and now I can see when I purchase the NFT, it has this unlockable PDF, which will then follow the instructions, perhaps, of, you know, making sure I can get the address of the purchaser so they can get the actual physical content associated with this. Now what's missing here? How do I know that I would actually get physical version of this with the purchase? I wouldn't. I've got to add that in the description. And so what you have here is what you see is what you get editor. So you do not have to know Markdown anymore. And here I will just type in Space Cadet. I will make this my primary header. I will change the spelling. And I will say, with the purchase of this NFT, you will also receive So I'm adding this in to let the actual person know what is the purpose of the NFT. Are there other value points I'm going to get with this? And being able to add content, media content, linking out to something else, you know, beyond your site. You know, the ability to actually do a very simple editing of this right here, but also then be able to expand upon the content after the fact, so you don't have to fit every single thing into the actual NFT description, is an extremely valuable thing, because as we all know, we want this value to be able to expand over time. When we have any type of a project or we're applying a purpose around this, we want to make sure that everything that adds value can be articulated. What is the reason behind it? And then I can go to move towards my goals. And I can say that my goal is, by the end of the year, on the 31st, I want to have all 10. And I then come up with what is a reward for token holders, or you know, what is a description if this goal is reached. I will say, you know, 100% of the proceeds from the creator royalty will be donated to Meals on Wheels, which is a charity to feed the hungry here in the US. And now I've added this goal, and I can go to my goals and I can see that I've got 42 days, 4 hours and 15 minutes to sell all 10 NFTs. And if we reach the 10 NFTs being sold, 100% of those proceeds will be donated to charity Meals on Wheels. And I can then go on and I can expand upon, you know, the non-for-profit organization and their accreditation as an NPO, and any other details that we pertinent to that donation and verification. I can add that to just the legitimacy of the offering and what's being done. But having this, there's so many elements here of content that you can utilize just with this one page. Not only does it apply the purpose of what we're wanting to be able to do by displaying the, you know, this collection of an amateur artist and their journey through, you know, becoming, you know, mediocre artists after 1 year, but then being able to add additional details, being able to verify the actual asset on Rarible, on Etherscan, and then the interplanetary file system for the metadata, so you know that the digital asset within the NFT has been pinned, and you have all the other different activity services that are represented here too. And now I'll go back to my actual page, which is www.mattyhofstad.com. And I promise eventually an NFT will show up here. I go to my site. There it is. So now what I want to be able to also show you, as I said, you can change the way your card will look. So if I wanted to be able to do that, if I wanted to go in and say, okay, this is the standard card, I really like this design, but inside of the Whitelabel storefront, you also have the ability to go back to your settings. I can go to my theme editor, I can go to my card style, and I can say, perhaps I want to change this to something as a collectible. You notice the design of that changes, or minimal. So you can really play around with this, a movie, to make it your own. And this, if you are a creator, if you are in this space now and any of this that we've just shown you is of interest, then you want to be able to take something that is templated and really make it your own. And Mintgate team has done a fantastic job of making it super easy to achieve that. Thank you very much for joining our Whitelabel setup today. Any questions?
While we wait for questions, I can speak a bit on what does all this amount to? What is the, zooming out, what is this platform really enabling? More, if you look at most of the NFT marketplaces today, they're kind of like Amazon.com, where they provide a large marketplace where everyone dumps in content into this large marketplace, and you kind of compete for visibility amongst this ginormous platform. We feel that being part of this decentralized spirit of the web, to provide an experience that's more similar to what Shopify provides users for shipping. That with the Shopify model, you are creating your own website with our platform. You are putting your NFTs on your own website, being able to customize that site to represent your brand, your image, and be able to have have the ability to have users directly unlock content on your site, be able to buy and resell these tokens that give those end users access to your content. And ultimately, as a creator, you can set a base. You ultimately can benefit from these tokens finding the right price point for the value of the services that you're providing to them. That you create you're basically creating your own micro marketplace to allow price discovery for what people will trade your tokens at, to set the appropriate price for the goods and services that you are providing to your end users. And I think, and along the way, you are benefiting from the royalties that you apply on these tokens. So that as a creator, you're always driving the value, the value of your own economy.
Also,
So I'll just leave that there. Yeah, any questions at all?
It looks like there's a question in the chat. How would you approach the setup DNS for a subdomain? By G Brown.
Oh, if to add a subdomain, you would add the subdomain into your Mintgate domain settings. Matthew, could you pull up the domain settings on the Mintgate settings page? Here's where in the origin, you would put in your subdomain, and then in your DNS settings, you would set that subdomain to the right there under set up your domain. You would use cname.vercel-dns.com for your subdomain. Does that help, G Brown? You're welcome.
Hopefully. So I also want to put it here. If anyone would like to schedule some time to walk through, if anything, sometimes I know in a group setting, you may still have questions, but if you'd like to be able to talk through strategy, setting up a white label as a creator, building a brand, coming up with a strategy for utility tokens or purpose, around, how to be able to grow these types of models, this link, feel free to book some time with me. I'd be happy to walk you through it personally, help you get set up, go through any options that I've utilized along the way to hack, creating designs very easily, or just general understanding around, how royalties work. By all means, please click that link in there and schedule some time. I'd love to walk through it with you. Okay.
I do have one question. One of the reasons I was interested in Mintgate was because it wasn't exclusively Ethereum. I have an issue with the excessive cost of Ethereum fees. And I thought that you guys were related to the NEAR token. Is that not true? Or what does it cost to set up a store in something other than ETH?
That's a great question. So right now we are adding support for Polygon, Flow, and NEAR support. As of right now, because it's easier, we support. Well, we're looking to try to get Polygon support online within, I'm hoping, the next 2 weeks, and then I'm hoping to have NEAR support ready by, let's say late this year, if not like first couple of weeks in January. That's my goal. Because I agree with you that in order to
Our goal as well.
to be more efficient and to ensure that we're not contributing to global warming, I want to support the most efficient blockchains that we can possibly support for allowing users to manage their own token marketplaces. And ultimately, I think that's the most responsible thing to do. So that's what we're working towards.
Another question I had about the use of these tokens as access tokens. Would I be able to set up, say, a Discord or some other forum or whatever to create a private group and use the tokens as some way to authorize entry into that? Is that what these are for?
If you just want to authorize entry, you can take a Discord invite link and take that Discord invite link and use Mintgate to token protect that link, and then share that link. And so no one will be able to join your Discord unless they have your token. And we do support NEAR today for token protecting links. We just don't support minting new tokens onto NEAR just yet.
Okay, so right now it's all Ethereum.
For minting tokens, we just support Ethereum, and we'll have Polygon support online soon, and we're looking to add NEAR support in the coming weeks. But if you already have NEAR tokens, you can take your Discord links and take an invite link, go to mintgate.app, create a token protected link, drop in your Discord invite link, and then that'll generate you a token protected link for joining your Discord group.
But that doesn't necessarily keep somebody from sending that token to somebody else and then having them join, right?
with token ownership, it's always about the ownership of the token. So if someone receives the token, gains access to your Discord, and then sends their token to someone else, that is possible.
Okay, so there's no feature at this point to secure, have the token be a way to access a forum or any kind of gated website or something or content.
You can do that today. You can use your token to gain access to a forum or a website or a Discord link. We support almost any kind of online content for token protection. So you can do that now. I can share my screen and kind of show you a bit what the process looks like.
Okay.
Do I have screen sharing
I will give it to you, John.
capabilities?
There you are.
Share screen. I want this screen. There we go. All right. All right. So when you log in, we're going to go to the Create tab, and you're going to say, nope, I already have a token. If you have a token on Near that you want to token protect. And here's where you're going to put in your Discord invite link. So I'm just going to pretend this is your Discord invite link, and then you're going to give it a title. And then under the blockchain, we support 70 different types of blockchains. One of them is on Near.
It doesn't have to be Near. I was just, trying to avoid Ethereum specifically because they're just so insanely expensive to use.
It's top of mind.
Now, I came across Mintgate because of the Near website, so I thought it was linked to them. So, do you guys have a list of the different tokens that you accept for payment or processing or whatever is involved?
Yes,
I'm kind of new to this. I'm an artist. I'm not a programmer.
I think we do have documentation for the chains that we support. I will grab that documentation and drop it in the chat channel. Where is that list?
Yeah, actually, like the best way, if you want to see the chains that we support for token gating, you can make an account on Mintgate.app and go to create and then create a token gated link, and then you will just be able to toggle down to the chains that we do support. I'll also drop in our documentation here as well. In terms of our monetization and how much it costs, we do have a 4.5% royalty fee for NFTs that are minted, but to use the unlockable / token gated links, it currently is free. We do have plans to monetize in the future, but it's now currently free for everyone to use.
Okay. Gosh, I had a question and I can't think of.
What if you, Catherine, if you want to schedule some time, if anything else comes up as you're, on your journey, we'd be more than happy 15 minutes to sit with you and go through that. I dropped the meeting link into the whole group there just so everyone knows it's there.
Okay. Well, I guess the question I had was, what does it take to open up an account with Mintgate? I was looking at your website and it didn't seem obvious to me.
You don't need anything to open an account. It's free to create.
When you're
okay,
on
so I don't need a wallet or anything like that.
To log into Mintgate, you'll either need to have a crypto wallet on any of the 70 blockchains that we support, or you can log in with just your Twitter account if you have one. And and one of the things that we were looking at adding is just an email login on the site, if that's something that you would find useful.
Okay, so I need a wallet. That doesn't need to have any, does it need to be funded to be able to open an account?
No, it requires, you can just use an empty wallet to sign in. That's perfectly fine. And again, if you don't have a wallet and you just want to test out the platform, you can also log in with the Twitter option.
Well, yeah, I do have a MetaMask wallet. And there are a couple others, but I don't know, like I said, I don't know what specifically you guys accept. So that was another question. So I guess I just have to, what's the website address again? Is mintgate.what?
Mintgate.app.
.app. It's not coming up.
I just dropped it in the link in the chat for
Oh,
everyone.
there we go. Okay, so if I click on login, I don't
It'll
have a
give you
sort.
the prompt.
I don't see where I would create a new account. There's a login button. But I don't have an account to log in.
You don't actually need to create an account. You just logging in will automatically create you an account.
Okay, so log in and then I can connect with Mask or with Twitter.
That's right. That's actually a really good point.